Hello and welcome to the Massachusetts Beer Reviews. This is going to be beer number 3 and the first one I named Massachusetts Beer Review thanks to a recommendation on YouTube and Facebook. The first beer that I am doing under this name is going to be Miller Genuine Draft. Now, I just did a discussion, if you will, on this beer the other day on Louisiana Beer Reviews. Ronald Theriot. I will link him below in the descriptions to his channel and to that video. We did it in Google Plus chat and my face didn't show up. So I just wanted to do another review plus actually have me on my own channel doing this one. This is a American adjunct lager. It's 4.66, 4.7 ABV, depending on where you look it up on Beer Advocate and online. It is apparently the Miller Genuine Draft is the same recipe as the Miller High Life. And the difference primarily being that they don't use in the Genuine Draft, they don't pasteurize the beer, number one. And number two, they like to claim that this beer has been cold filtered through 4 different filtrations. Whatever that means, it creates a smoother beer and it's supposed to be more similar to drinking a draft beer. The bottle says, brewed from the finest malted barley, selected cereal grains, and the choicest hops. Oh, there you go. Their website does say, if you go to the mgd.com, it says, the fresh taste of draft beer in a bottle. So this is trying to be a draft style high life, I guess. Miller Genuine Draft utilizes an innovative cold filtering process that allows us to capture fresh draft taste in every bottle. Unlike many beers, it's never pasteurized, which means it's genuinely draft beer bottled. So no matter where the night takes, you count on fresh taste every time. And if you go on the mgd.com website, I will also post that below in the description. The brewmaster, Dr. David Ryder, takes you through this beer in a very elaborate, commercialized video about the beer. And he says something along the lines of that this beer was brewed to be to capture the excitement that only the city will bring you, or some ridiculous jargon as such. But, you know, that is that crazy conundrum. The light version of MGD is MGD 64, in case you wanted to know that. I will be reviewing this beer in a Pilsner type glass. I'm gonna see how it works out in the Pilsner type glass. It is a twist top. Let's get it going. Tiny bit of smoke. The camera I don't think picked up on that at all. Not in the least. Okay. Very clear, if you can see that. Very clear. I don't know if you can tell. There's a little bit of bubbles coming through. Just a tiny bit. Straw, pale yellow color. Looks like High Life. The head, I don't know if you can see that head. I always try. Is foamy. It's about a finger. It's probably going to die a little bit. Ever so slight lacing. That's really about it. Let's give it a nose. It's definitely got the corn in there. I think Miller uses corn as their adjunct in their beers. So it's got that corn aroma. Sweet, but not overly sweet. It has that grainy taste, smell. It's probably from what they say are the cereal grains. It's a very light hop aroma, very light spice. The grains, or whatever they're using, the adjuncts, have this wet cardboard kind of a scent to it. It's overall standard American mass-produced lager smell. Let's take a taste. Cheers. You get the clean water up front, somewhat sweet. You definitely get that corn paper, like a wet corn husk kind of a taste. Very mild hop spice in the background. Just gonna check my beer advocate notes on this beer here. Yeah, it just has that standard corn adjunct taste, that graininess taste, a little sweet. Ever so slightly malty. Yeah, unlike High Life, this doesn't have that typical adjunct, none of that typical adjunct cooked vegetable kind of a smell that you get. None at all. The mouthfeel, it's light. You can taste it's clean, crisp, refreshing. You can taste a watery taste in there, like a macro lager will give you. It's actually a slightly bitter and grainy finish to the beer once you take some down. Slightly bitter, only slightly sour, just a little tiny bit before it finishes. Pretty dry. And what would I give it on letter grading that I'm going to start to do now? How would I grade this beer? It's about a C. It's not the worst beer in the world. It's not the best beer in the world. You know, it is what it is. I wouldn't ever pass up an MGD. But, then again, I would never go out of my way to buy some MGD. Oh, and by the way, on these style of beers, I would not recommend drinking them at anything but your refrigerator temperature, because you're going to get more of that grainy, corny taste out of your lagers there, whatever your adjunct is in taste, and you're not going to get, it's not going to change significantly for the better in flavor. So drink these things ice cold, fellas. It's got a tiny bit of lacing there, what do you know? So, in conclusion to the Miller Genuine Draft, 4.7 about percent from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it gets a C, straight C, in the middle of the road, average beer. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, cheers, fellas.